So you're moving to Georgia. I have some phrases that you might want to become familiar with, especially if you ain't from around here. Let's talk about that. Hi, my name is Tonya Byrd. I'm a realtor in the state of Georgia, and this fabulous accent that you're hearing comes from East Tennessee because that's where I was born and raised. And these phrases are kind of like phrases that are used all over the South in general and not really specific to Georgia per se. Now, I will say that I've had some Georgians make fun of my accent. They particularly make fun of the way that I say light, bright, and right. Did you catch that? I said light, bright, and right. So that's light, bright, and right. I drop off the T and string out the GH. I don't know, it's just how I say it. And they make fun of me, which I find hilarious because they're being a little bit hypocritical. I mean, I have a Southern accent, they have a Southern accent. So when somebody's being hypocritical, one of the sayings that we have down here is we say, well, that's like the pot calling the kettle black. And so if you don't want to be hypocritical, then don't be like the pot and call the kettle black. Now, I really don't care if y'all make fun of my accent. It won't offend me in the least, which brings me to my next word, y'all. Y'all is one of those words where we have taken the word you and all and smashed it together. And it's a plural, right? It's a plural usage. So when you call somebody up on the phone, you might say, hey, how y'all doing? And that usually means 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 people. When you're talking about a large group of people, then you might say, hey, how are all y'all doing? It means a huge group of people. So y'all, familiarize yourself with y'all. Now, of course, in the South, we are raised to have manners. You say, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, no, sir. And then we also might even say, excuse me, even though we're not at fault for having to say excuse me. Like you might accidentally bump into somebody and it's not your fault and you may say, excuse me. So don't be surprised if you hear those things coming out of the locals' mouths. But there's one phrase that sounds like someone's being compassionate, but actually they're not. And that's bless your heart, or bless their heart, or bless her or his heart. And this is normally used in a way that's not so nice. So I'll give you some examples here. So you might say something like, oh, bless her heart, she fell down the stairs and her skirt flew up over her head. Well, you're saying bless her heart because she's mortified because her skirt went over her head. Or you might say, she is dumber than a box of rocks, meaning she's not very bright. And so you might say, well, she's dumber than a box of rocks. Bless her heart. So you just said something that was very offensive, but by saying bless your heart, somehow that makes it right. So bless your heart. The next word is fixin' to. Now, I'll never forget the time that I was working with somebody who was from Ohio, and he asked me a question. I said, yeah, I'm fixing to do that. And he was like, what? He's like, what are you fixing? And I'm like, what? I'm not fixing anything. He said, yeah, but you just said you're fixing to do whatever it was I was gonna do. And I was like, oh, that means I'm getting ready to go do that thing. So using this in another sentence, like, I'm fixing to go to the store, meaning I'm getting ready to go to the store. So fixing to. And so then you might ask me, well, which store are you fixing to go to? And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go to the Kroger, which is over yonder. Over yonder. So over yonder means over that way. And when you get to the Kroger, you may go and do some food shopping. And of course, as you're going through your day, you know, because Georgia's known as the peach state. You might hear somebody say, she's pretty as a peach, either referring to a lady or a young girl who might be dressed up all nice and pretty, and so therefore they're pretty as a peach. I guess peaches are pretty, I don't know. There's another food word that's unique to Georgia, and that's the word pecans, the nut, pecans. So in North Georgia, they're called pecans. In East Tennessee, they're called pecans. Even when I lived in Texas, they're called pecans. You go down to South Georgia and get out of the metro area, and they are called pecans. And that's one way to get Georgians in a fight on the appropriate way to refer to the nut known as the pecan or pecan, depending on what part of Georgia. Now, as you make your way to the store, you might have somebody offer you a buggy. And this happened to me when I moved from Houston. Living in Houston for 9 years, I really got cityfied, and if anybody approached you in the parking lot, you were like, "Ooh, why are you talking to me?" And when I first got here, I had this nice gentleman tell me that, "Hey, you might want to go over there in the parking lot and get yourself a buggy because there's none in the store." Had I not been from the South, I might not known what a buggy was. So a buggy is nothing more than a shopping cart. Of course, as you're pushing your buggy around the store, you might go get you some Coke. And I might ask you, well, what kind of Coke did you get? Because Atlanta is the headquarters for Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was founded in Atlanta. And oftentimes you may overhear somebody at a restaurant say, "Hey, I want a Coke," and the server say, "What kind?" Or if you're at someone's house, they may say, "Hey, do you want a Coke?" And then they may ask you what kind, and then your response might be Sprite or Dr. Pepper or whatever. Maybe it's Coke. But soda means Coke, and you might have to specify what kind after you say the word Coke. That also brings me to sweet and unsweet tea, because sweet tea is a big thing in the South. And if you don't specify that you want unsweet tea and you're ordering tea, you will be guaranteed to be delivered the sweet kind. And if you've never had sweet tea before, you might be in for a shock because it is really sweet. Now, as you're making your way down to the store, I don't know about y'all, but they have put in these new checkout kiosks, which seems to take slower than if you just had somebody checking you out. And as you're sitting there waiting, you might say, "Man, all these people are taking their sweet time," which means they are being super slow. Like, let's speed it up and not take your sweet time. Get to scanning the food and get out of the grocery store. And then you might come home and explain to someone that, man, they were slow as all get out. So as all get out is just an emphasis on the word that you're describing. So like you could use it as the weather is crazy as all get out, meaning it's super crazy. So all get out to show extra emphasis. And finally, I'm gonna wrap this video up with the squeaky wheel, because I use this a lot during real estate transactions. When we're going through the contract to close phase, we may have to be a squeaky wheel to the lender to get a hold of them, or we may have to be a squeaky wheel and keep at persistently calling the other agent or persistently calling the new home builder to get answers. So we may need to be a squeaky wheel. This comes from the larger phrase which is the squeaky wheel gets greased, which means the loudest wheel it squeaks gonna get all the attention and get the grease. So if you want to be a squeaky wheel, that means you are you're being vocal and persistent, so you get the attention that you need. So what did you think about these phrases? Do you have any that are your favorites that I didn't mention? Or do you have one that somebody said and you're like scratching your head going, what in the world did they mean by that? If you need help in the greater Atlanta area to buy a house over here, then let me know. I'll be glad to help, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Are you digging the kind of content I'm producing? Then be sure to watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll be in the know when I release my next video.